What happened in Mecca shocked the whole world. Has the Last Judgment reached Mecca? Could this be a sign from God? Last week, Saudi Arabia was surprised by flash floods in several parts of the country. While torrential rains were recorded across the kingdom, this unexpected phenomenon made Islam's holiest city the epicenter of a natural disaster that deeply shook the hearts of believers and radiated to the entire world. Our aim is to provide you with a detailed and impartial analysis of these extraordinary events. Let's explore the layers of this unfathomable mystery and find out if we are simply dealing with an extreme weather event or if there is something deeper behind these phenomena. Perhaps even something prophetic. This journey is not just a superficial examination of facts. We want to dive deeper into the storms that shook Mecca, unraveling every detail and revealing every hidden aspect of this natural disaster. We are here to guide you through every amazing discovery and every mystery solved in an exploration that promises to be fascinating and enlightening. Is it simply a freak of Mother Nature, or are there cosmic forces at work that make this event something much bigger? What is really behind the floods in Mecca? Stay tuned to understand what's going on. And at the end of this video, you can leave us your comments and subscribe to our channel. Imagine the following: Mecca suddenly becomes the scene of a storm. Mecca, the holy city, is hit by a flood. That sounds like something out of a blockbuster movie, not reality. And now we are confronted with this unforeseen catastrophe, and everyone is asking, why? This question goes beyond the idea of a city in distress. This is a sacred place where millions of people come together on spiritual journeys in search of solace and connection. The impact of this event goes far beyond Mecca and affects the entire country of Saudi Arabia. The impact of this amazing natural phenomenon reaches far and wide. We are living in very difficult times today where prophecies are being fulfilled, but many are unaware of what is happening in the world. For this reason, I have made my digital book available. The Bible, Prophecies Revealing the End Times, available for download. The first pinned comment contains a link to download this book. Click now and get your book in digital format. To understand the depth of the impact of this flood. Given the importance of Mecca in the spiritual life of Muslims. Mecca is home to the Kaaba, the holy house of God, where all Muslims enter during their daily prayers. It is also the destination of the Hajj, a pilgrimage that every Muslim must undertake at least once in their lifetime if they are physically and financially able to do so. This city is not only on the map, but also a spiritual center of great importance, full of historical and religious significance. When the flood hit Mecca, the impact was immediate and severe. Images and videos of the flooding quickly spread across social media, showing water inundating streets and mosques, including the Grand Mosque of Mecca. For many who saw these images, the Grand Mosque, normally a place of peace and reverence, now seemed vulnerable and threatened by the forces of nature. The Holy Bible offers several passages to help us think about natural disasters and their effects. In Matthew 7:2-27, Jesus emphasizes the importance of building on a solid foundation. Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them will be like a man of understanding who has built his house on a rock. And the rains came, the floods came, the winds blew and beat against that house, and it did not fall, because it was founded on rock. This passage teaches us that true strength and resilience in the face of adversity comes from a solid spiritual foundation. In the case of Mecca, the floods can be seen as a test of the resilience and faith of the people who live there and those who make the pilgrimage there. The emotional and spiritual impact of this event is significant. It reminds us of the fragility of life and the need for strong faith. Arabia as a nation has also suffered greatly. Mecca is a national and spiritual symbol, and any damage to the city is felt by the entire population. The government and local authorities had to act quickly to limit the damage and ensure the safety of residents and pilgrims. Emergency measures such as evacuation, shelter and assistance to those in need were put in place. The event also brought to light issues of climate change and disaster preparedness. Floods in unexpected areas remind us that we need to be prepared for the unexpected. The infrastructure of Mecca and many other cities needs to be reviewed and strengthened to prevent major damage from future natural disasters. The Bible tells the story of the flood in the book of Genesis, in which God instructs Noah to build an ark to save his family and the animals from the great flood that would destroy the earth. Genesis 6:9. This biblical account reminds us of God's sovereign power over nature and the importance of being in tune with God's will. In modern times, natural events such as the flooding in Mecca cause us to reflect on our relationship with the environment and our responsibility to protect God's creation. The Muslim community worldwide has also felt the impact of this event. For many, Mecca is a place of deep spiritual significance, and the sight of the city being struck by such a catastrophe can shake one's faith and sense of security. But it is also about solidarity and unity among Muslims, who come together to help and support each other in times of need. In times like these, faith and community are crucial for recovery and resilience. The Holy Bible offers comfort and hope in passages such as Isaiah 41:10, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you and uphold you with my right hand." This promise of divine support is a source of strength for many who are faced with adversity. The flooding in Mecca reminds us how natural phenomena, spirituality and society are interconnected. As we reflect on this event, we are called to consider not only the physical causes and effects, but also the spiritual and emotional implications. It is an opportunity to strengthen our faith, support each other and find ways to be better prepared for the unexpected. The event also emphasizes the importance of preserving and maintaining holy sites and preserving the integrity and safety of Mecca. This is important not only for Saudi Arabia, but also for the global Muslim community. As in the Bible, where holy sites and temples were carefully protected and cared for, the same must be done today to ensure that future generations can continue to make pilgrimage to Mecca and find spiritual solace there. The floods in Mecca are also a reminder that despite technological advances and modern infrastructure, nature is still capable of surprising and challenging us. The Bible, with its stories of resilience and bravery in the face of disaster, is a source of wisdom and guidance. Ultimately, this event calls us to reflect on our own spirituality, our willingness to respond to the unexpected, and our responsibility to care for each other and the world around us. Now I realize that it is not common to mention Mecca and the flood in the same sentence. Surprising as it may seem, the evidence is clearly visible in the streets and buildings of this holy city. We are not dealing with mere speculation, but with concrete evidence. After this event, images of flooded streets, inundated holy sites and the rebuilding of a nation were circulated. The world, a global village, is stunned and looking for answers. This is not just a local incident, but an event of enormous proportions that has sparked discussion worldwide. In exploring this chapter, we are not just observers, but investigators in search of the truth behind this unimaginable incident. The influence of sacred rituals and communal prayers on the spiritual and social structure of Mecca is undeniable. In the Holy Scriptures, we find several passages that help us to reflect on natural disasters and their consequences. For example, in Matthew 7:24-27, Jesus tells the parable of the two master builders and emphasizes the importance of building on a solid foundation. He says, "Whoever therefore hears these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on a rock, and it rained and poured, and the wind blew and beat against that house, and it did not collapse, because it was founded on a rock." This passage teaches us that true strength and resilience in the face of adversity comes from a solid spiritual foundation. When the flood hit Mecca, the effects were felt immediately and strongly. Images and videos of the flood quickly circulated on social media, showing the water flooding streets and mosques, including the Grand Mosque of Mecca. For many, the sight of these images was shocking and disturbing. The Grand Mosque of Mecca, a center of reverence, now seemed vulnerable and threatened by the forces of nature. In times of adversity, the Bible offers us comfort and guidance. In Isaiah 41:10, God promises us, "Fear not, for I am with you, be not dismayed, for I am your God, I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my right hand." This promise is a source of strength and comfort for all who struggle with difficulties and reminds us that we are not alone. Saudi Arabia has also suffered greatly as a nation. Mecca is a national and spiritual symbol, and any damage to the city is felt by the entire population. The government and local authorities had to act to limit the damage and ensure the safety of residents and pilgrims. Immediate measures such as evacuation, shelter and assistance to those in need were taken. The event also brought to light issues of climate change and disaster preparedness. Floods in unexpected areas remind us that we need to be prepared for the unpredictable. The infrastructure of Mecca and many other cities needs to be reviewed and strengthened to prevent major damage from future natural disasters. The Bible tells the story of the flood in the book of Genesis, where God instructs Noah to build an ark to save his family and animals from the great flood that would destroy the earth. This story reminds us of God's sovereign power over nature and how important it is to be in harmony with God's will. In modern times, natural events such as the flooding in Mecca force us to reflect on our relationship with the environment and our responsibility to the divine creation. The Muslim community worldwide has also felt the impact of this event. For many, Mecca is a place of deep spiritual significance, and such a catastrophe can shake faith and a sense of security. But it can also create solidarity and unity among Muslims, who come together to help and support each other in times of need. Faith and community are vital to rebuilding and resilience. The Holy Bible gives us a vision of hope in passages like Romans 8:28. We know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. This verse reminds us that even in the midst of difficulties, there is a higher purpose and a divine plan. In Saudi Arabia, two forces have manifested themselves: Mother Nature. Let's clear up the clicker copyright that comes to your mind when you think of Saudi Arabia, probably a vast arid desert under a scorching sun, right? Well, brace yourself, because recent events have revealed a very different reality. Mother Nature has unleashed her fury, and Saudi Arabia is no longer confined to the narrative of arid landscapes. Let us provide the undeniable proof. Floods wreak havoc, torrents hit where once there were vast deserts. Roads that were once covered in sand are now flooded, transforming an arid landscape into a spectacle beyond all expectations. Recent events have shown that Saudi Arabia, long considered a sandy desert, can fall victim to unpredictable natural phenomena. The country, known for its vast expanses of sand and intense heat, has experienced torrential rains leading to flash floods. These floods temporarily turned desert landscapes into rivers. The Bible records several events in which nature exceeded human expectations. In Job 37, 5-6 we read, God rattles wonderfully with his voice and does great works that we do not understand. For to the snow he says, come down to the ground, and to the rain and the showers, be strong. God's power over nature and the way he can use natural events to draw people's attention to his greatness and dominion had to be quickly adapted to the new reality. And humanitarian aid was mobilized to support those affected. This event also serves as a reminder of our responsibility as stewards of God's creation. In Genesis 1:28, God blesses mankind and commands them to rule over the earth and preserve it. This mandate calls us to pay attention to the environment and watch for signs of change that could affect our survival and well-being. In short, the flooding in Mecca and the flooding in Saudi Arabia are events that force us to rethink our perceptions and strengthen our faith. They remind us of the unpredictability of nature and the importance of the enduring spiritual. As we reflect on these events in light of the Bible, we find comfort, direction and a call to action to better care for one another and the world around us, which is fundamental to overcoming adversity.